The murder case accusing YNW Melly of slaying two of his childhood friends has been an absolute roller coaster since it began, with everyone trying to figure out how things really went down. Recently, YNW Juvys Dad gave his 2 cents about how things currently stand with the case, and trust me, he's out for YNW Melly's blood. One minute, it seems like the mystery has been solved, and the next, it's back to square one. At this point, everyone is pretty much exhausted by all the back and forth going on. Keep watching till the end of this video to see YNW Juvys Dad react to YNW Melly's latest arrest for witness tampering. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to the #1 celebrity jeweler, the Ice Champ. The Ice Champ is doing a special deal for the next 24 hours on diamond watches, chains, and more. Follow at the Ice Champ on Instagram now.
YNW Juvys Dad reacts to witness tampering. YNW Juvy's father, Christopher Thomas Sr., discussed the witness tampering charges against YNW Melly and YNW Portland on Law and Crime Sidebar podcast. Christopher Thomas Sr. believes YNW Melly convinced his girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, and her mother, Felicia Holmes, to conceal information about the rapper's involvement in the murders of YNW Juvy and YNW Sack Chaser. They're going through some extreme measures to try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah and Mariah's mom, Christopher Thomas Sr. said. They was using code words like Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's baby mom. To me, when I looked at the text messages, Instagram messages with Portland, and she said like, good will never come to somebody because you snaked somebody that never did anything to you. My mind instantly went to Chris. He made reference to his son as well, admitting that his son was certainly no angel, but saying he knew for a fact that his son wasn't someone who would rat you out to the police. He called YNW Melly a snake, claiming he was the kind of person who would snitch on you without thinking twice. He claimed that YNW Melly snitched on his son, who was his best friend, and also said he would do it to anyone. Christopher Thomas Sr. admitted he was upset with Hamilton and Holmes, criticizing them for not testifying against YNW Melly. Thomas Sr. hoped the two women would face some type of punishment for allegedly lying, and for them to even go through this process. I'm thinking they don't care nothing about my son, he said. They don't care nothing about Chris. I'm like, dang, man. He went on to talk about how the case is not being handled properly, stating that there is a lot of evidence that isn't being used to prosecute YNW Melly. He said that the evidence they are refusing to use all points to YNW Melly, showing that he is guilty of all the charges. In Thomas Sr.'s eyes, they were all seen as guilty. YNW Melly, who remains in jail, is awaiting his retrial. Judge John Murphy declared a mistrial in YNW Melly's first murder trial, which ended in July with a hung jury. YNW Portland, his alleged accomplice, will be tried separately. YNW Melly faces death penalty for killing friends. It's been 5 long years since YNW Melly has been locked up behind bars, and there's no doubt that being away from his family, friends, and fans has been hard on the rapper. Not only does he have to deal with jail officials threatening his life, but he also has to worry about the prosecutors wanting to end his life. YNW Melly, who was arrested and charged with the murder of 2 men, Anthony Williams, aka YNW Juvy, and Christopher Thomas Jr., aka YNW Sack Chaser, had the death penalty option removed from his first trial in 2022. The prosecutors are hell-bent on putting him in the chair, as they believe that his intentions and actions in the killings were done in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner. Their request was approved, and the judge who ruled in favor of the prosecution wrote, "The state complied with its statutory obligations when it filed its notice of intent to seek the death penalty within 45 days of arraignment." He added, "In the present case, the defendant, YNW Melly, was clearly noticed and appraised of the state seeking the death penalty in 2019. The defendant has had nearly 3 years to start the preparation of his defense to the state seeking the death penalty between the filing of the original notice and the superseding indictment." The judge concluded by suggesting that the Florida Supreme Court should rule on Melly's case and the applicability of the death penalty. YNW Portland arrested on witness tampering charges. YNW Melly's co-defendant, YNW Portland, was arrested on witness tampering charges. Apparently, YNW Portland was apprehended following a raid per Law and Crimes Bryson Paul. He was reportedly arrested in Miami, Florida, and booked into Miami-Dade County on an out-of-county warrant at 10:22 p.m. on Monday, October 2nd. YNW Melly is accused of shooting and killing his friends after a studio session. Prosecutors say Melly and his alleged accomplice, YNW Bortland, staged a drive-by shooting in an attempt to cover up the murder. Florida prosecutors accused YNW Melly of witness tampering in connection with his first murder trial less than a week before the start of jury selection in his double murder retrial. The defense argued against the charge at a hearing on Wednesday, October 4th. YNW Melly was hit with the new charge after his co-defendant, YNW Bortland, was also arrested for witness tampering on Monday, October 2nd. YNW Melly's lawyers said there was no probable cause for the tampering charge, but a judge disagreed. Melly's attorneys believed prosecutors were muddling in his case in response to the defense's allegations of prosecutorial misconduct. Police say both men conspired via third-party text and phone calls to stop YNW Melly's ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, from testifying against the rapper. This is a transparent and desperate attempt by the state's attorney's office to distract the public from the deposition of an assistant state attorney who accused this case's lead detective and lead prosecutor of felonies by falsifying and covering up evidence damaging to the state's case, YNW Melly's lawyers told the Miami Herald. The state has intentionally done whatever it could to sanitize Detective Mark Moretti's actions so they would not be fodder for cross-examination during trial, YNW Melly's attorneys contended. YNW Melly's lawyers seek to exclude detective's testimony. YNW Melly's lawyers have filed 2 motions to exclude some of Detective Mark Moretti's testimony from the rapper's retrial on Thursday, October 5th. According to court documents obtained by All Hip Hop, the defense urged a judge not to let Detective Moretti present information from an Apple Health pedometer, CellHawk cell data record mapping, and Google Maps. The proposed expert testimony of Detective Moretti's exhibits and reports should be excluded under Florida Rules of Evidence 90.702 and 90.403 because the methodology in the reports and/or testimony is unreliable and irrelevant, and its probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, the lawyers argued. Defense attorneys filed a motion ahead of their client's October 6th court date. YNW Melly's legal team had previously asked Judge John Murphy to recuse the Broward County State Attorney's Office from the 24-year-old artist's double murder case. Jury selection for the retrial was set to begin on October 9. Do you think YNW Melly will escape the death penalty and walk out of prison as a free man? Do you think YNW Juvys Dad will get justice for his son? Join the conversation and let us know in the comments section below. That is the end of today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and leave a comment down below. Thanks!